What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and today I have another zombies video here for you guys, which is surprising. I've made about one a month since the launch of Modern Warfare 2, but tonight we're going to be talking about some spicy new rumors that surfaced about the future of our beloved game mode from Treyarch. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and let me know down below in the comment section, what do you guys want to see the most in zombies when it makes an inevitable return in Black Ops 2024? Is there something that you're itching to see return, or something new entirely that we've just never seen before in a Black Ops game, or even Vanguard, funny enough? Let me know how you're feeling about zombies down below in the comments. But with that being said, for those out there that wanted to pick up the $600 Raygun statue from Call of Duty's online shop, it did sell out really quickly after the first day that the listing went up, but they have since restocked that Raygun for those out there that are interested. Again, Etsy also has a bunch of other replica Rayguns that are a bit more affordable that do contain some lights, some sounds. So for those out there looking for the perfect Raygun replica, maybe there's another version out there that is for you and better fits your budget, because I get it, $600 is a lot of money for a statue. And if you guys remember, right, they ended up doing the Primus BO4 statues many years ago. Only Rick Toffin released. We never ended up seeing the other three characters, so I'm wondering if after this Raygun sells out, we'll end up seeing other Wonder Weapons sold in the future. We'll have to see a Winter's Howl or something at some point. But with that being said, we have a really interesting report that a lot of the community is discussing as of right now, and it's coming from somebody known as Akita over on Twitter, and this account is fairly empty, so take that as you may. They've never really tweeted before, and the account was made in December of 2022. This person put out a twit longer claiming to be a QA tester, whether that means former or current, and they put out a lot of information about future content in COD 2.0, including Sledgehammer's new game as well as Treyarch's. So once again, take that all with a grain of salt. I usually only make videos about rumors this crazy whenever the community is really interested in talking about it, so that I can break it down better for you guys and also give my thoughts on it. Other channels have made videos about this information already, but let's break it down, right? So the Ghost of Hope himself, usual leaker in the COD community, he went ahead and said that the information is completely off. However, other leakers and data miners out there disagree with the Ghost of Hope and are claiming that a lot of the information that was said here is accurate. So it doesn't necessarily mean that Akita, whoever that person is an actual QA tester, but that person might have regurgitated some other info or got it from somebody else. Who knows? But take this as you will. So when it comes to zombies, Outbreak and Onslaught will return. I guess no brainer. Outbreak will have more than 4 players. Holy. Dark Ether storyline continues. Again, no brainer. Harder Easter eggs are set to return. Zombies Chronicles 2 is finished. Was supposed to release with Cold War, but has been held for Gulf War. That's what people are calling COD 2024 right now. The next Black Ops that will cover the Iraq and Gulf Wars. And Shadows of Evil will in fact be reimagined. So doesn't look like that was an early April Fool's joke. Some of the information is fairly vague and might not mean much, but let's break that down piece by piece, because there's some things that you guys should probably listen to when it comes to what this information is saying. But wait, there's more. For those that want even more specifics about what's going to be included in the next Zombies iteration, this individual did say Onslaught will be similar to Vanguard's maps Duran Fung and Terra Maledicta, where you're just on a multiplayer map doing tasks at random areas of the map. Now, that right there has me intrigued, because like I even said when Vanguard first came out, the idea of combining round-based and Outbreak, but then placing that formula on multiplayer maps just seems like a new version of Onslaught, but it just wasn't fleshed out in Vanguard, but with enough dev time put into it, could become a fleshed out, replayable, exciting experience maybe in a future Call of Duty. So that has me intrigued. I think we're going to see traditional round-based with a bunch of budget, a lot of maps being offered for it. We'll see LTMs probably offered on those maps as well, so that'll all be playable. Outbreak will probably just be a hybrid of Outbreak and DMZ, maybe with PvP, some other cool ideas, and that'll probably take place on the Warzone map. And then you can have Onslaught, which could reuse the regular multiplayer maps, but give it more substance than just killing zombies or surviving waves of bosses. Have objectives to do as well to spice things up and give you more of a reason to play it. Totally on board with that, right? Really excited about it. They also said the first map that will be released, it's called ZOD. Obviously, that means Zombies on Disc. That's what every zombie map's codename is whenever it's the launch zombie map for any Black Ops game. So there's no actual name for it yet, but takes place on a prison, maybe breaking out some of the individuals that got captured at the end of Forsaken, so it could be a Requiem rescue mission of sorts. Would love to see that. Not related to Mob of the Dead from BO2, but it is a completely new, fresh map. Hell yeah. The Wonder Weapon is going to be similar to the staffs from Origins, no Raygun. That I doubt. I mean, we've had very few zombie maps that don't have a Raygun, so if this is going to be one of them, I'd be shocked, but again, this is super early on. Maybe the Raygun just hasn't been recreated yet for the map. And another comment about Chronicles 2 is that the person said they played it back in BO4. At the time, it was just Transit and Barrier. Upgrade, Faithful Remasters, not sure what happened to Dire Eyes. When I started testing it for Cold War, I got moved to Modern Warfare 2. So once again, regurgitating info that we were hearing many years ago, right? The whole community knew about the rumor that a pack was made for BO4, got pushed to 2020 for whatever reason. That never came out in Cold War, and now has gotten put on hold again. So let's see whatever happens to a potential Chronicles 2 in the future. Now, tonight's video is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan. Did you know that you don't really need a lot of money to hire a lawyer? Well, if you're injured and don't know where to start, Morgan & Morgan has your back. Submitting a claim for an injury doesn't have to be a tedious process. With Morgan & Morgan, there's no need for you to visit law offices and sit through timely consultations. You can submit a claim and have a lawyer review your case with just 8 clicks or less from your mobile phone. Morgan & Morgan has modernized the injury law process, making it easy to submit case details, sign contracts, and upload any documents all from your mobile phone. You heard that right, you don't ever have to leave the couch. You can even text your attorney during the duration of your case. Now, if you're ever in an accident though, you want to make sure you do the following. Make sure you're okay, file a police report, contact your insurance, and guarantee that you have legal representation. Now, you can check out Morgan & Morgan with the special link down below, and thank you to Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring tonight's video. The first part, when it comes to Outbreak and Onslaught, that's a no-brainer, right? Both modes were very popular in Black Ops Cold War. If anything, I see Outbreak becoming the DMZ of Warzone 2.0, which means that it'll be some type of free-to-play experience that you can boot through the Warzone 2 app instead of the main Call of Duty application. That's what I think is going to happen at some point. I really see that happening because they can keep charging for round-based whenever a new COD comes out and then add in free round-based maps throughout the 6 seasons of support. But when it comes to Outbreak, there's so much potential to do more with that and to really open up the door to zombies to so many new people. Onslaught was locked behind PlayStation exclusivity for an entire year during Cold War's cycle, but the mode was still really well received, and the mode itself did get lots of support over the 6 seasons. Then when it became available for Xbox and PC, a lot of people were really excited to try it out. So no doubt in my mind that just to add in extra filler zombies content in between major round-based releases or in between major Outbreak updates, they could just reuse the multiplayer maps and put Onslaught on them, and maybe even go further than that and have little objectives or some other side quests to do through the Onslaught maps. That's just extra easy content that reuses assets in ways that are appropriate, at least in my opinion. I will still hope to see original assets used for round-based and Outbreak, but can't get everything you want. However, Treyarch does have many years to work on this Black Ops game if they aren't interrupted. So there's that, but also with Outbreak supporting more than 4 players, that's something that opens up the door to what I think is the future of zombies, and that's going beyond what we're used to with just 4 players, maybe having 6 or 8 player maps. Maybe that's too much, and maybe that would make Easter egg quests a little bit too complicated. But what if round-based maps stick with 4 players? Okay, but Outbreak can go further than that. If they want to bring Outbreak to the next level and you combine that with what's been done in DMZ, maybe incorporating PvP into that is the way to go. And that's the way to kind of bring grief to modern day zombies in a much bigger and bolder way. So having Outbreak support, let's say 32 or more players, because you have maybe squads of 4 or 6, maybe that's how they'll do it, and that's the way to really spice up Outbreak and make it more replayable than Outbreak 1 was. So I'm really on board with that if this is the case, but I do think whether it's Black Ops 2024 or a different game entirely, at some point we're going to see a zombies experience feature more than 4 players, and it's going to be huge. So I'm totally looking forward to that if that's the case. Dark Ether story continues, already knew that, no doubt in my mind we're going to be seeing that. Harder Easter eggs though, when it comes to those, here's the thing, right? I'm on board with quests being a bit harder, but maybe the solution is this. You have your main quest, which is kind of on par with the Cold War Easter eggs, where you're kind of guided through character dialogue and maybe notifications and indicators on screen or around the environment. But then you could have main Easter eggs, which are a little bit similar to the way Black Ops 3 quests worked. We really had no guidance at all, and they were fairly difficult for your average player and a bit tedious for a typical casual. Maybe that's how they'll do it and separate a main quest from an Easter egg. That could be the case, or they just find a better balance where they do casual quests that are like what we saw in Cold War, but just make a few of the steps in those quests a little difficult. So it's like you're making it more accessible for everybody, but still offering some difficult steps that are on par with what we saw in Black Ops 3 and 4. You're never going to please everybody at the end of the day, because like I've said dozens of times in recent podcasts, look, Black Ops 4 is a funny game to me because I was a huge fan of it, but I remember explicitly in that game's zombie season, people were complaining so much that the quests were too difficult, they were too story driven, casuals couldn't do them. So what did Cold War do? It answered that feedback and made quests more accessible, opened up the door to zombies to even Warzone players. And obviously the game was made during the pandemic, wasn't their game to begin with, so Cold War is a hard game to really judge because of all the circumstances surrounding its development. But notice how each Black Ops game responded to the feedback from the last, especially when it comes to zombies. So I think because they've heard a lot of feedback during Cold War that quests need to be a little bit harder, no doubt in my mind that they're gonna find a way to balance that so much better when they have a full 3-year cycle for Black Ops 2024. But then when it comes to Zombies Chronicles 2, a tired old topic that I know is almost a meme at this point, especially on my channel, I was really interested in this topic back during the Black Ops 4 season, right? There were so many leaks, so many rumors, so much evidence even in-game that was gonna happen, and since it didn't happen in BO4, newer leaks did come out shortly after, I think it was 2019, 2020, suggesting that that pack was being saved for whatever Black Ops game Treyarch was working on next. That also didn't happen during Black Ops Cold War, but like I was saying, as of a couple of years ago, I just never saw a Chronicles 2 working in a game like Cold War. Would have been cool to see, right, with all the gameplay mechanics and movement changes that Cold War Zombies offered, but I felt like the game that a Chronicles 2 fit best in would have been Black Ops 4. And since that didn't happen, I would say a future game entirely should probably do a Chronicles 2. And with this leak here saying that it was supposed to be in Cold War, I don't necessarily believe that, but maybe there were plans at one point to make Green Run an entire Outbreak experience or have a Die Rise and Buried remastered for round-based. But in terms of narrative and story, I don't see how those maps would have worked in Cold War unless they were just there for gameplay purposes. But I do see a Chronicles 2 definitely being possible either in this new Black Ops game coming out for 2024 or even something crazier, right? With COD 2023 celebrating the 20-year anniversary of the COD series, it makes sense to get some remasters of zombie maps to celebrate the legacy of zombies and what it means for Call of Duty, so that could also happen. But with other rumors that we're going to be seeing 2 years of support for the next Black Ops game, maybe the second year of support for that game is when we end up seeing all the remasters we're waiting for, especially for zombies. And I think if they could find a way to narratively weave in a Chronicles 2, because Chronicles 1 narratively fit with Black Ops 3's story for sure, they could find a way to do that in the next Black Ops game. I'm sure Craig Houston is working on that as we speak, then I'm totally on board with a bunch of remasters. But like I've said many times before on the channel, it's a tired old topic. I'll bring it up whenever it makes sense, whenever it's relevant, but it's kind of ironic that when I was making videos about Chronicles 2 during BO4, so many folks out there were saying, oh, clickbait, lies, BS, and it's like, I'm just reporting on the news and things that I'm passionate about. I'm not a leaker or a data miner, but I'm interested in the topic. People were talking all this crap about it, but then funny enough, during Cold War, a game where a Chronicles 2 didn't really make sense, more people started talking about it, more people were asking for it, and I'm like, if you would have been like that during Black Ops 4, maybe it would have happened. But then again, probably not, because Treyarch got moved on to COD 2020 because Sledgehammer couldn't finish it. So who knows when a Chronicles 2 is going to happen at this point, but Chronicles 1 came out in 2017, so could it be a good 6, 7, 8 years before we finally get a sequel to that map pack? You never know. But to kind of round out that topic a little bit, this person also said that Shadows of Evil is looking to be reimagined. So Black Ops 3 is almost, what, 9 years old now? So I'm gonna feel old for a second, but it does feel like Black Ops 3 Zombies was in its prime like a couple months ago, or maybe a year ago to be realistic. It doesn't feel like it's been that many years, but considering the gap from World at War to Black Ops 1 to Zombies Chronicles, it's kind of similar to Black Ops 3 to now. Yeah, it could be time to see some remakes of Shadows, DE, whatever the case. I'm open to it, even though it feels like it's too soon. That's just me feeling like, oh, Black Ops 3 isn't really that old. But no, Black Ops 3 is getting that old, so remakes are inevitable for those fan favorites. But come on, we gotta get the Victus remakes first. Those maps have never gotten remastered a single time. They, of course, have through mod tools on PC, but that's different. When it comes to even classic or faithful versions of 5, Call of the Dead, Mob of the Dead, Origins, also open to that. Maybe that's going to be in Chronicles 2 as well. I mean, hell, at some point in the next few years, have a whole bunch of dev teams get together that don't affect, you know, regular Call of Duty launches. Get a bunch of dev teams, whether it's outsourced or not, to remake every amazing zombie map on the Modern Warfare engine. Let's see that at some point. I'm totally open to it. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on this brief zombies video talking about recent rumors that did surface from some mysterious individual? Again, I'm not claiming that the information is correct, but I want to say, based on other rumors and other leaks that surfaced as of, you know, the last couple of months and whatnot, some of these lines of information do check out. So we'll have to wait and see what ends up releasing and what ends up happening with zombies, either in Sledgehammer's new COD this fall or in Treyarch's new Black Ops in 2024. That is about it. Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.